Hey dumplings, it's David Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about BTS and the military and what happened there. There have been some new updates in the last week or so, and I have a lot of thoughts. I also want to get into Jisoo and Jung Hae and Jisoo addressing the relationship between each other. So, hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumpling, tea-spilling mug merch, and let's get into it. The first thing that I wanted to get into today is Jisoo and Jung Hae. First off, Jisoo and Hae are actors in the show Snowdrop. This became a very popular drama not only because it was so well shot, but it also had a lot of controversy, which of course drew more attention to the show and made people realize that the show was in fact very good. This video is not about the controversy, but a more cute moment. I believe the show is coming to an end and people were very surprised about how much they liked it, but also how good the acting really is. The two are such amazing actors. The one thing that got everyone talking recently was none other than the kiss scene. It's very normal for actors to do kiss scenes, but in K-pop world, idols are not allowed to date or do anything like that. So seeing them kiss on screen was a moment for the Blinks and K-pop fans because it's obviously okay, but then it's weird to see Jisoo kiss someone without any issues, which is a good thing. I think the BLACKPINK members are possibly planning a comeback soon, so they ended up all doing a live stream together and it was so cute and fun. Of course, they went ahead and read some comments and answered questions and just all that sort of stuff. Of course, there was going to be someone who decided that they wanted to bring up the iconic kiss in Snowdrop, and Lisa went ahead and addressed it and talked about how she loved the show and watched it all, and specifically had seen the kissing scene, and then continuously teased Jisoo about that scene, and called Jisoo Kissu. It is funny because usually the most affectionate member is Lisa, and she often likes to kiss and hug the other members so much, and Jisoo is more chill and very reserved. So it's very interesting and fun to see Jisoo be the one to give affection on camera than the other members. During the stream, Jisoo was very professional and did not leak any spoilers for the show, and of course we are going to have to wait until the week ends to see the next episode. I think it's so great that the controversy has died down and people are seeing the show for what it is, which is a great show with great actors, because it can definitely be tough to know that a show is good, but people are going to sit there and only focus on such a small part of the show and not just how much money and work went into producing this show. I am not surprised that they didn't want to abandon the show when the controversy happened. It was probably so much work and so much money that they would be in danger if they called it off, and the show definitely deserves its moment. So if the show can make it through that controversy, then anything can happen and things will usually be alright if you stick by it. History buffs are not going to look at Snowdrop and take notes about how the history is in that show and take it as fact. They'll go by real videos or real books and determine the truth from that. There's plenty of things that talk about real government events and real military stuff, and it's definitely more worth learning and teaching others about. I think what BTS is doing and what they have done with their military situation will definitely go down in history as something that was a first-time achievement. A K-pop idol even getting a law dedicated to them and then getting deferment is a big deal. Let me give a little backstory on this. I believe this is something that is always on BTS's mind, even if they don't talk about it. It simply does not make any sense that this would not be something they would be concerned with because everything could potentially be different. The question of if the members will all go together or go separately is still kind of up in the air, but I personally believe they will be going separately as they have all separately applied for deferment until age 30. And obviously there is no reason for a couple of them to even apply right now or to apply at all if they were planning on going with Jin to the military. The conversation about whether or not the members can get exempt started to make its way back into Korean government around last week, and I'm very glad. Jin will be turning 30 soon and have to enlist. So it's good that they're getting an early start in trying to figure this out before Jin's birthday becomes only a week away and they still don't have an answer. There was this idea that K-pop bands can substitute their service with another government public service. However, this bothers me that this is where their head is, because other public services still means BTS can't make music, because while completing your service, you're not allowed to work, and this is the concern not only for the fandom but for the economy of Korea. Like the issue of why Jin's service was even pushed back this much was because they didn't want to disrupt the money that BTS was bringing into the Korean economy. So substituting the military service to another government public service isn't the correct answer. The government never came to an answer as to whether they were going to do that solution or not, and then also claiming that if they did this, it would open a huge can of worms of making all K-pop idols exempt. I don't see how that is a problem. K-pop idols literally represent Korea, and I would actually go out of my way to say that at least 80% of tourists are there because of K-pop and the Korean culture that gets shown through K-pop. Are they not serving their country enough? I know I'm supposed to be neutral, but it bothers me because this is a conversation that the government has been having for almost 2 years, since Jin turned 28, and there was a debate of whether he should go then. So either say they need to go now or exempt them. It was believed not too long ago during an award show where the boys went up and accepted their award and talked about how they wanted to break up and leave. Part of the reason could have also been the military. They were obviously burnt out, and I can only imagine the thought of leaving to enlist was just a lot to deal with, and it would have been easier if they had broken up and just went to the military on their own without the concern of, if I leave, will the other members be able to continue or whatever, because the group would have ended, if that makes sense. I'm not saying at all that I would have preferred that. I'm just inferring what they could have been thinking. We saw every member cry, and we saw how emotional Jungkook was over this idea that the group was about to disband, and groups don't disband over one reason, especially since none of them hate each other. There were likely several reasons, and I believe the enlistment was definitely one of them. Jin was getting closer to that age. We hadn't gotten an official enlistment date yet from official sources. I had initially really just guessed that it would have to be before Jin's birthday, but it was definitely weird to read it in an article or in the news and see that it's probably accurate. Jin will turn 30 in December, and he will likely have to enlist or at least send in his application before then. I can imagine he will probably wait until the last minute, as they are planning on doing a world tour, we believe, and also planning a comeback, which we also believe. So they likely will be busy for this year, and by the time December rolls around, he will probably submit those papers to enlist. As for the future of the group, I do believe the boys are going to enlist separately. There is no official information. This is my theory. And again, I'm just going off the fact that the boys applied for deferment individually. People were saying that all the boys should or would enlist all together, but it's not likely. Jin doesn't have a choice. He has to enlist this year, meaning all the boys have to enlist this year too if they plan on going together. So for example, Jungkook could have waited until much later. He's 24 now, so he didn't have to apply for deferment now. Him doing it implies that he is looking to enlist much later, because what sense does it make to apply for deferment at 24 years old and then enlist this year? So there's no reason to apply at all if they were all planning on enlisting together this year with Jin. So this tells me they are planning on either continuing as 6 or flexing their solo careers soon. Last time I explained this, I was getting comments like, what sources are you getting this from? I am not. You can Google who applied for deferment and it'll tell you. I'm just inferring from that and making my theory from what I know. I'd love to hear your take on what you think they did and how you feel. Again, it's just my theory. I know this bit was a bit more angry, but I felt like I never got to give my real opinion on the situation, and honestly, this is how I feel. I know I'm supposed to be happy about it, but I'm not. And I'm always scared to say anything because I don't want to cause fear or sadness or add to the flame, but at the same time, I can't sit here and lie or pretend like I have for the other military videos, and to say that I am very happy about it and it's always a happy thought for me, because it's not. And I think it's okay to freak out a little bit and be sad about it. Let me know what you think, and if you want to see more K-pop reaction videos, go to my Patreon, a link below. I can't post them here due to copyright, but you can get all sorts of reaction videos and requests. It's a great way to support the channel even more if you would like to do that. Thank you so much for this lovely comment right here. I love you so much. There will be some videos that will pop up on screen, and I will see you over there. Bye.